Yo, how's it going, guys? Slipstream here, and I'm just going to be going through a couple of class setups. Ever since the patch came out, there's been a bit of a shift in the meta, so I'm going to show you guys what I've been running and give you an idea of what's being used right now, both by pros and like amateur and competitive, like CDL or the GB ladder, or even just stuff like that. So I am a flex player, um, which means that I'm going to be picking up the second AR for our team, and that's honestly what I've been using. I'd say like 90% of the time in respawn. And the class that I've been using for that is an M4, which is pretty much the exact same as the old setup. So a lot of the time you'd see M4, Corvus barrel, Commando foregrip, stipple tape, no stock, and then compensator. And then you can switch out the Corvus for an M16 barrel depending on like the map or what your role is. Like usually main ARs will use the M16 barrels, and then if it's on a Azir Cave, then I'll use a M16 barrel. But most of the time I've been using a Corvus on every map except for Azir, just because it's a little bit faster and it allows me to sort of keep up with the subs where an M16 would be just a little bit too slow. And personally, I actually prefer the M16 barrel. Maybe I have sort of a slower playstyle for a flex, but uh, anyways, here's what I usually run a knife as my secondary, just because it really helps with your timing and getting places as fast as possible, especially on breakoffs or just rotations to new hills, where a lot of the times that like between 30 and 15 seconds, I'll be hitting a rotation for the new hard point. So I just want to make sure that I can get there as fast as possible and maybe beat the opponent to a good position to take that gunfight. Now for my perks, they're going to be pretty much the same on every single respawn class. Since I'm a faster player and I use Dead Silence, I use Double Time, which let me sprint longer, and then when it's paired with the knife, you can basically tack sprint forever, is what it feels like, especially if you're slide canceling every now and then. And then Point Man for my perk 2, which is pretty self-explanatory. The only place that I'd want to use Ghost is maybe an S&D or when I'm not anticipating getting many assists or objective points. But for the most part, I always use Point Man. And then Battle Harden is, uh, in my head, it's a better alternative to tune up an amped just because I'm not necessarily in a position where I'm throwing trophies, so I don't really need amped to improve my like amount of time that I can still shoot. Like I see a lot of mini Rs running amp just because once you get your trophy, you can just throw it right away, and it doesn't like take a whole lot of time to deploy or anything. And then my specialist is EOD, tune up, and amped in that order. It's all personal preference, but I like to like if I get my 2 kills and assists or whatever, I'd like to be uh, more able to take nades so I can sort of hop on an objective if I need to with EOD. And then tune up just helps you recharge that dead ER trophy that much faster. And then I almost always run Semtex and Flash. Specifically Semtex I will always run in respawn just because it's so much faster. You just throw it and forget about it, right? And then I run Flash for my team in respawn. Now I've got 3 different AR classes here. These two are basically the same except for the M16 barrel, and this is a new class that I've been trying out where I actually don't have a compensator. I saw Crim6 running an M4 without a compensator on Gunrunner, so I've been trying this out lately, and I actually like the additional speed. You just have to be very, very conscious of the fact that you can't quite take the same gunfights that you maybe could with a compensator just because the added recoil is pretty high. Now this is a new gun that has just gained a little popularity in the meta. It's the AUG, and I run all the same secondary classes or perks and equipment. So the only difference is going to be the gun. But the AUG is really nice because it has very good damage over range, especially when you use the extended barrel here. There's not really any point in using this the 622 long barrel, nor the lightweight barrel, because it's really cool. I saw a picture that Tactical Rab put up on his YouTube and Twitter where it showed the damage range that the 407 gives, and it's actually kind of ridiculous. Like it allows you to compete with M4s and even outperform MP5s, even though your fire rate's a little bit slower than the MP5. Um, so that's the reason for running that. And in terms of grips, I do commando stippled because you really don't need any sort of help on the recoil on this gun. This barrel offers a little bit of recoil control, but honestly, even if it didn't, I probably wouldn't even put like an operator or anything else on this, or a compensator really. It's a very accurate gun. And so for the stock, there isn't a no stock option on this gun, but I just use the ADS one. Since you're a sub, you're going to be running around pretty fast anyway, especially if you're a flex player. The movement won't feel too different from an AR with no stock. So I like this ADS stock. It helps you out a little bit in addition to the stipple and commando. And then sleight of hand is pretty standard on most subs. The ammo size is a little small, but you wouldn't really want to run any ammo on it. And there's really no need for a compensator or muzzle brake here. And then I do still have an MP5 class. I rarely use it. I honestly use this more in S&D. But on the MP5, I run, these three are the same attachments as before. The F-Tac, sleight of hand, and stipple are pretty standard. We're not using the 10 millimeter anymore because they're GA'd. And for that reason, it sort of like left a divide in the scene to like what to use. Because the 10 millimeter actually gave you a little bit of like it felt like recoil reduction, even though it really wasn't. It just felt like it because like the firing speed was lower. But especially with the change to no stock and F-Tac, with increased recoil, you sort of are forced to go to like a muzzle that reduces recoil, and then like pair that with your underbarrel. So what a lot of players do is they either go for commando and compensator, or muzzle brake and operator. Now I thought, for me being the flex player, I run commando, compensator on just about every class, so I might as well do it the MP5, see how I like it. And honestly, I don't pull the MP5 a whole lot, except for when I'm playing really aggressive on S&D, but so far I really like this setup. So speaking of S&D, I have, I actually don't have an AUG class for S&D, but the MP5 and the AR setups are just about the same. The only difference here is that I'm running a smoke. Because on S&D you're allowed to run 2 smokes per team, and while I don't run one in respawn, I pick up the second smoke from my team in S&D just to smoke off chokes and make plays. And these two ARs are the same. This is the one S&D class that's a little bit different. I actually want to switch this to a Ranger because this is a little bit slower of a class. I was also thinking about changing this to an ADS stock, but I haven't decided yet. Anyways, I'm going to be using these 90% of the time, and unless, like I said, I want to make a fast play. This one would only come into play when I'm sort of picking up a route that I don't usually play, and I have to play a little bit slower, where like accuracy and range is a little bit more important. So for that reason, I have EOD and a secondary on here, because speed isn't necessarily a factor when I want to be holding lanes like that. And I'm gonna end up either going with commando and the forge tack, or no stock and ranger. I really just have to test different stuff out. And here's the last class I have, and it is what we all love to use, the sniper. And I usually don't pull sniper for my team, but when I do, I feel really confident in this setup that I have. So I use a Singard barrel just because it adds range and velocity, but it doesn't also like, it's not so slow uh, like the 32 inch, like where the 32 inch reduces your movement speed in exchange for recoil control, but like recoil control really doesn't matter on a sniper. So I just prefer to take that little bit of movement speed. I don't run a variable zoom. It's sort of personal preference. Um, I find that a lot of the time the low zoom is like disorienting to me, and the high zoom doesn't really give that much benefit, so I just like the default. And then for the stock, I run the ADS stock, the Singard Arms Assassin, in combination with the granulated grip tape, which reduces your idle sway or your aiming stability. A lot of people also will go for a stipple grip here or a arms evader, but it's all personal preference. This is just what I found that I like the best. And then obviously you want to run focus so that you're hitting your shots through your flinch. And so since I'm running a sniper on this class, I of course have the M19. And then the perks are a little bit different, but not drastically so. For the first perk, I run double time just to get to my sniping spots as fast as possible. So I don't have to worry about another player beating me if I'm running EOD and I'm just a little bit slower. Um, I run Ghost instead of Point Man on my perk 2 just because, like I said before, I'm not really going to be getting any plants or many assists if I'm using a sniper. And then I use Amped here just in case I'm getting pushed with the sniper and I have to make a quick switch to my pistol. And the Specialist, again, is all personal preference, but I prioritize EOD just for a little bit more protection, and then Battle Hardened for the same reason, but for flashes, and then Tune-Up Blast. Um, and then this is the only class that I actually run a frag and a stun. Frag just because generally if I'm going to be at longer ranges, I'd rather be able to cook something and throw it like more accurately and over further distance. And then for the stun grenade, usually if I'm picking something up in SND instead of a smoke, it'll be a stun. So that's the only reason I run that. But anyways, I I hope you guys try out some of these classes. Let me know what you think. I feel really confident, and these are the classes that I've decided on after playing in the meta and playing this game competitively basically ever since it came out. So I hope you can trust what I say here. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the future. And that's it, guys. Thank you.